All right, welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack Network. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. And with me today is Corey. We're going to be presenting his top 6 week 4 fantasy football waiver wire pickups here. Before we jump into that, though, just make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, leave those 5-star reviews, comment. We love hearing from everybody. And of course, jump over to FantasySixPack.net, read Corey's article, and if you want to read the full thing, you got to become an all-access member. Go to fantasysixpack.net/plans. Become an all-access member. You're going to get access to this full article, which goes 20-plus players deep every single week, and much, much more. Our weekly projections, our award-winning rankings. You're going to get all the DFS and betting content that we have behind the scenes that pays for itself. Like, let's be honest,
They're
it does.
crushing it on
Dave
the
Eddy,
DFS side,
yeah,
man.
Dave Eddy, Chris Robin, Keith Fleming. I mean, they've already paid for people's subscriptions for the entire season. I guarantee it. So jump into that, and the parlay fantasy guys over there crushing it with the betting content as well. So yeah, hit that up. But yeah, actually, one last thing: F6P NFL 24 to save 15%. But without further ado, let's jump into your week 4 waivers. First up, Mr. Braelon Allen. Little afterthought here with the start of the season, right? Because Breece Hall was the man and still is the man, right? Like, he's getting the lion's share of the touches. Braelon Allen's doing some work, though, man. And so these are the last 2 weeks you're seeing here on the screen. Give us your thoughts, Corey.
Well, I think you pretty much nailed it there. This is still Breece Hall's backfield, but if I was, knock on wood here and said Breece Hall goes down next week, I'm dropping 90% of my fab on Braelon Allen because I think that's where we're at here. I think he is maybe behind Tyler Algier and Zach Charbonnet, the most important handcuff to have, and he's already carrying standalone value here. He went from 1 carry week 1 to 7 week 2 to 11 week 3. That's an increasing workload. The targets are 1, 4, and 3. Back-to-back top 24 RB finishes. You can already flex him out there, especially in games where it looks like the Jets are going to have a substantial lead like they had last Thursday night. He's actually the top rated running back right now on PFF. I just think Braelon Allen is crushing it. If you have Breece Hall, you have to add him. Even if you don't have Breece Hall, he should be on a roster because there's blow up potential here if, God forbid, something happens to Breece Hall.
100%, 100%. Totally agree there. So let's move on to the next one. And this is my personal pick of the week. I love this one. Been calling it for a couple of weeks here. Mr. Bucky Irving of the Tampa Bay Bucks. And so just for the slide purposes, I threw up both Rachaad White and Bucky Irving stats just to kind of show what's going on here. And I'm pretty sure this is where you're going with it.
Yeah. So unlike with Braelon and Breece Hall, I'm not worried about Breece Hall. I still think I'm playing Breece Hall. Most times he's a top 12 back. You have to be worried. If you have a Rachaad White owner, you have got to be worried at this point that Bucky Irving is coming for this job. You have the stats up. We'll just talk about yesterday quick here. Bucky had 9 carries for 70 yards and 3 catches for 14. Rachaad White had 6 carries for an abysmal 17 yards, but the 5 catches for 18. And that's what it looks like we're seeing here is that Rachaad White is carving out a pass catching role, which is valuable, still playable in a PPR league, but you have it up there. Rachaad White's averaging 2.1 yards per carry. 31 carries for 66 yards is miserable. And Bucky Irving looks better, 25 carries for 154 yards. I would say I still prefer Rachaad White, but it is razor thin at this point. And Rachaad White was a top 45 pick, and Bucky Irving's still available in nearly 70% of leagues. We heard from head coach Todd Bowles today that I believe the quote was that Bucky Irving earned more snaps going forward. He's already playing close to 40% of the snaps.
Right.
This looks like a true split. You got to go out. I would agree. Right now, the priority this week, the priority ad, even of the 6 we're talking about, is Bucky Irving.
Yeah. Cool. All right, man. So next up here, we got a quarterback, which don't hit the list very often, I don't think. Not in years past they haven't, but Mr. Sam Darnold kind of opening some eyes here. What's your take?
Well, he's the second scoring quarterback right now in fantasy behind only Lamar. If you didn't see the name Sam Darnold, you'd say, wow, 68% completion percentage, 657 yards, 8 touchdowns. it's the preconceived notion that this is Sam Darnold. This is the guy who was the 3rd overall pick back in 2018, and he was a bust. Well, that's with the Jets and the Panthers, who are arguably the 2 most dysfunctional franchises in the league. He looked okay at times with the Niners last year, and now he finds himself in a Vikings offense that, yeah, Kirk Cousins was good, but we were playing Josh Doubs at times last year, Nick Mullins,
Right.
Jaron Hall, excuse me. This offense is good for passing. Kevin O'Connell, top 5 in pass attempts, both years there. Right now, Sam Darnold's only 20th in pass attempts, but he's throwing touchdowns at a 10.3% clip. Now, will that last? No, it won't. It'll come down, but then he throws the ball more. The offense is only going to get better. You have Justin Jefferson in this offense. Jordan Addison has missed the last 2 games, and they're still doing this, and TJ Hawkinson will come back. This is the makings of a high-flying offense, and I think when they're in more competitive games, we're going to see more passing volume from Sam Darnold. I'm kind of viewing him as the top 12 quarterback the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be in the conversation for sure. And, I mean, I would have loved him for like Superflex, right, this year coming in the draft, but everybody faded him, right, because you were worried JJ McCarthy was going to take that job over eventually, right? But obviously that's not happening because he's not playing this year. So, yeah, Sam Darnold's got to be in the mix here. It's just hard to play him over the guys that you probably drafted ahead of him, right? I mean,
let me ask you.
I know where you're going. All right.
Anthony Richardson, right?
I knew this. I knew this exactly where you were going. I've got AR.
Oh, do you?
I don't know, man. I'm looking for a replacement in that league. I'm not going to drop AR for sure.
No, I wouldn't drop him, but this week I'm playing Sam Darnold plays the Packers, I believe. That should be a high scoring game. I think I'm playing Sam Darnold. I don't know who the Colts play, but hard to believe we're already here 3 weeks or 4 weeks in here, man.
I mean, it's bad. It's bad for Richardson for sure. So, all right, let's move on here to the next one. And we got Mr. Week 3. Whoo, baby. Jauan Jennings, 3 touchdowns, 175 yards.
It's the most yards that any receivers had in a game this season. It's the most touchdowns that any receivers had in a game this season. 40% target share yesterday. Now, that you see that 91% catch rate. The highest mark any receiver had last season was 85% by Khalil Shakir. So it'll come down. I think that's pretty easy. Yesterday was 91%. For the year, he's at 85%. That's coming down too. He's not catching 85% of the targets. But with that huge game yesterday, he's now the leading target getter in San Francisco, ahead of Ayuk and Debo now. And that's what you got to talk about here with Jauan Jennings. Is as good as yesterday was, if you pick him up this week, you don't get that. That game's in the past, and we're 1 week closer to these guys returning. So CMC, as we're talking here, he's going to Germany to get a look at his Achilles specialist. That's scary. I don't know when you can trust that to come back, but Debo, I think probably 2-3 weeks. Kittle, it sounded like there's a chance he was going to play this week. Maybe next week he's back. And Brandon Ayuk, yeah, he's not hurt, but he missed all of training camp with his holdout situation. So he's getting up to speed too. If you need someone that you want to play right now, I think that's fine. I think Jauan Jennings can be started right now. Safe floor. The Pats are coming up. They should be able to throw on them. The Cards, the Seahawks, that is a safe play. But I do think there is a shelf life on Jauan Jennings too.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Funny story. Like this past Sunday, like literally 12:55. I was like, oh, I haven't checked this league's lineup yet. I went in and I was like, I got Jennings on my bench. I had Mooney in my starting lineup. Not that Mooney did bad.
Yeah.
Very last second, I swapped him. I put Jennings in.
Nice. That away. Awesome. Congrats on the win.
Yes, I did. I was like, there we go. So feel good story there. So, all right. Next up here, we got Romeo Doubs. And now this is interesting, right? Because Malik Willis has been there. Passing offense has been just non-existent. But why do you like Doubs?
And that's why he's available, that I can even recommend him, because going into the year, he was drafted in 75+% of leagues, I'm assuming, and now my recommendations are under 50% here. He finds himself below that threshold because people are dropping him, and you got the stats up there. That's 8 catches for 130 yards in 3 weeks. I get it, but Malik Willis has attempted 33 passes in 2 weeks. There were 12 quarterbacks who attempted 34 this week alone.
Yeah.
So Jordan Love, the first week he was there, that was the week he got hurt. He attempted 34 passes. This is a passing offense. Malik Willis completed 25 passes in 2 weeks, and the Packers won. I get why they did it. That's awesome. Congratulations, Malik. But this is still going to be a passing offense. And while Jaden Reed is certainly a weapon, it's Romeo Doubs who's out there 53 snaps he's played per game. That's more than Jaden Reed's 41. That's more than Christian Watson. Okay, route runs. Well, he's averaging 24 routes run per game is Romeo Doubs, and Jaden Reed's at 20. He's out on the field. He's running the routes. Eventually, when you get a more passing focused attack back here with Jordan Love, I think he steps back in and is a pretty safe floor option for fantasy. And with that low production, you can probably sneak him in. If you're in a fab situation, Jauan Jennings is going to get a huge bid, and you can probably sneak Romeo Doubs in. And there is a much safer floor the rest of the season with Romeo Doubs than there is with Jauan Jennings.
Oh yeah. The rest of this is more of a long-term play.
Mm-hmm.
You need points right now. You go with Jennings. You want to play the long-term game. You got some guys. You go Doubs for sure. Yeah, 100% agree with you there. All right. Last for the week, Cole Kmet, tight end for the Chicago Bears. 11 targets in week 3. Woo!
Tight end has been just a utter disaster. I don't know who's the tight end that people are happy that they started right now, but right now I did the research list. There are 3 tight ends who have had over 6 fantasy points each of the first 3 weeks, and it's not the ones you're expecting. Dallas Goedert, Pat Freiermuth, and it's just not what we're hoping for here. So when we see these blow up games like what Cole Kmet offered, you gotta at least consider it. Now, part of the issue here is that the Bears had 90 offensive snaps on Sunday, which is just, it's not going to happen. Caleb Williams ended up throwing the ball 53 times.
Right.
They're not going to win games like that. That's not how this team wants to play. And eventually Keenan Allen will come back. And I think that's probably the same portion of the field that Cole Kmet's occupying right now. But Cole Kmet's been a safe tight end option in the past. And he's already developing rapport with Caleb Williams, where Keenan Allen's not right now. So in a position where we're just looking for stability, I feel confident saying that I think I can get 8 to 10 fantasy points in a PPR league most weeks out of Cole Kmet going forward.
Which is a whole lot more than Mark Andrews can say.
You cutting Mark Andrews? If you had to make a drop, would you drop Mark Andrews?
I don't think I'm quite there yet, but man, I am super close.
And that's how quick fantasy values change,
dude. I mean, we don't run a single route. I mean, what do you do with this guy?
I know
this offense is just Derrick Henry, Lamar, and Zay Flowers,
and
that's it.
It's tough. Isaiah Likely, I mean, that was 2 weeks ago. I was in here talking about Isaiah Likely. I felt good about it. He's running 11 routes yesterday, and it's twice as many as Mark Andrews, and they blow him out. So that's where, yeah. Is that your team? You're a Commanders fan, right?
I am.
You're a Commanders fan. I was trying to remember if it was Ravens or Commanders. Commanders, okay.
Yeah. I live close to both, but yeah, I grew up a Redskins fan, although that's a forbidden word on there. But, I'm gonna say it anyway.
That's okay.
Yes, Commanders. Now that Snyder is out of the picture, I'm back.
Congrats.
But, right, thank you. All right, man. Well, that is it for the week 4 waiver wire. Thanks, Corey, for your picks there. And again, check out the full article where you can get all 20 plus of his waiver wire picks over on Fantasy Six Pack. I'll drop the link in the show description, so make sure you check that out. Corey, before we head out, let everybody know where they can find you, man.
You can find me on the X at COPIEPS. I've tweeting out. Now it's all football. Baseball's pretty much done here, so we'll get to focus on one sport.
Yeah. Finally. A little less off the shoulders, right?
That's right.
So, all right, everyone, enjoy the rest of week 3 if you're watching this tonight. If not, good luck in week 4.
That's right.
See you later.